All right, so today of all days, April 20th, 2023, 420, SpaceX and Elon Musk lit the biggest stick ever created today. And it was spectacular. I'm gonna go through this video with you in real time and explain the accomplishment that has happened today. And it is not a failure. I can't tell you how perfect of engineering with a feat of accomplishment they have pulled off at SpaceX. So one, this was an accomplishment, right? The engineering and the science and the rocket science that went into this thing today was spectacular. So I've watched this video a million times already today, and I'm just going to go through it very slow motion. And there's many things that are obvious to me, a space enthusiast. However, I am an engineer. So there's things that are obvious that something's going on in here. So just give a little bit of background. This is the biggest rocket ship to ever launch in the history of mankind. This is the biggest attempt, and they were successful at it launching today. It has two components. I didn't go back and do any research. I didn't look up any facts. This is all off the top of my head. So you got two components. You got the booster segment down here, and you got Starship up here. I believe this is booster 7, and I believe this is Starship 24. Again, I didn't go back and check my facts. Correct me in the comments. Which combination, what configuration is this launching? So you can see it's fully fused. This is stainless steel, and it looks silver-ish. So you can see the cryogenic fuse has caused the entire booster to freeze up. So you'll see that. And the reason why I want to bring up the freezing up of the booster, because this causes ice chunks to fall off during launch, and we're gonna look at that a little later. And then also on Starship, this is the bottom side. These are the heat shields that you see. On the other side, when it spins around, you can see it's frosting up. So what happened? This is a fully fused booster. It's only happened a few times, stacked with Starship on top of it, fully fused. It's only happened a few times. So let's go through this video. It's gonna go real slow because I'm gonna break it down to quarter speed, 0.25 speed, and show you the things that I saw in the video today. Here we go. That is awesome, beautiful, spectacular. And I'm gonna pause it right here. Anything after that is icing on the cake. This has never been done before. The booster has only been tested. They've lit the engines, and even in that test, 3 Raptor engines did not work. That was in the test. They have never gotten this far, right? So anything after the goal here from an engineering standpoint is, as long as it doesn't blow up on the pad, we good. Right? You know, even if it did blow up on the pad, it was still some valuable data to be collected. But this is a first attempt at launching a rocket of this size and of this complexity. And it launched. Engineering is on another level to achieve this on the first go round. Okay, let's go a little bit more. And I may drop it to quarter speed soon, but this is a significant accomplishment that it didn't blow up. Most rockets blow up on their first time, okay? Right? So this is really, really amazing. And just to let you know, SpaceX is revolutionizing the space industry. So this is a prototype. This is an already outdated unit. They've already have boosters after this that have modifications, improvements. This probably launched with known defects, right? So people call it blowing up. You know, it blew up, or rapid, unplanned, or unscheduled disassembly. That was always an option, and that was always understood by the engineers and by SpaceX and all the folks who put this in it. That's an option. That's a possibility. You know, you look at the risks, you go through and execute, and you give it some weight. So being that it didn't blow up here is an amazing accomplishment. I know I'm rambling. Let me keep going. So you can already see the exhaust here. The video froze here, but you can see it vectoring. If you go back and watch the video, you can watch the thrust plume shift from over here on the right, shift over to the left. So it's already vectoring, trying to stabilize the ship. So now what I'm seeing, I'm looking at this here, and it looks funny. It's not a consistent color or a consistent look through it. And it's obvious. It's obvious out the gate that something's going on down here. So let's watch and see what we can see. I may go back and forth a few times. That is amazing. Spectacular. Okay, so the announcer said chamber pressure is nominal, but already 3 Raptor boosters are not working. So during the testing of the booster, there were 3 Raptor boosters that didn't work during the test. I didn't go back and look, but I'm curious if it's the same engines or same locations or same whatever that didn't work during the initial test. All right, we're going to continue on, and we're going to look at the plume here, and then we're going to look at the ice here. Watch. This is what I noticed earlier today. Let me go back because it already happened. I'm going to go through at normal speed, and then I'll go back and point it out. That was an explosion. I think it's the second one. Look at that. It's sputtering. That flame. So the engineers already know there's something going on with this rocket. They're monitoring this and they're watching this. And I can see this. It's obvious to me. And I didn't even work on the rocket. I don't even know the technical specs of the rocket. So I'm going to go back and we're going to watch that at a slower speed so you can point it out and see it in real time. It happens real fast. And that's, initially I thought it was just ice falling off the rocket, but it was too fast. So I went back and slowed it down, and there's an explosion. And what happens, you can see a fire under it. So let's slow this thing down. And let's watch this together. All right, it already happened just that fast. Let me rewind it. Okay, we're at quarter speed, 20 seconds into the launch. You see that plume? And me, I've never seen the launch, but I see all this venting coming off the booster here, and it's venting on one side. I guess that's normal. We'll hear in the later reports and later analysis from SpaceX and other space enthusiasts what all that venting is on the side. It caught me off guard to see all that. Okay, here we go. We're going to look right here. You're going to see something come off rapidly. You already see it leaking. They're sputtering. And watch right there. Explosion. You saw that? And then you're going to see the flame through it. Look at it. It's sputtering. That was an explosion. So this is, I have no idea what's going on. This is my opinion, my thoughts. It's an explosion, and it's very low in the booster. To me, it's around the engines. And an explosion is technically a structural failure. So either it was a poor sealing, poor gasket, there was too much pressure and something down there, which caused an explosion. And it happened several times. Because it's sputtering, I'm thinking it might be a pressure thing. Something it was too much pressure, or something couldn't handle the pressure in that area. Let's continue on. You see that? That is definitely abnormal. Second split. You see that fire coming out of that? There's definitely something exploding down there. And that is the Raptor engine area. So these engines are the new variants. So these are Raptor 2s, and they're smaller and more efficient. So we'll see what's going on with these Raptor 2s. There's 33 of them installed on the bottom of the booster. 3 of them are already in op. And at this point, there's going to be a 4th one that's going to drop out. You're going to start seeing them drop out. And it ended up being a total of 5 boosters dropping out. Sputtering. See all that sputtering? That is not normal for a booster, but it's okay. We're still collecting data. Engineers are still collecting data. They're watching this. That plume there, it's very, very orange on one side, and then not so much on this side. So something's coming out that's not supposed to. And there's vibrations in the video here. You see it wobbling. You can still see something sputtering over here. Something has, a gasket or seal has failed over there. You can see how this plume is just not even, not concentric, not the word concentric, but not symmetrical. Thank you, sorry. And it just looks weird. So look, now we have 4 Raptor engines that are inop, not working. 53 seconds into the launch. So it's looking good, it's going up. But you see all that flashing? That should be a consistent color, and maybe a little bit of expansion due to the atmosphere pressure decreasing. So it should expand over time. But all these extra plumes of things, I have no idea what those are. And those are places to look for anomalies. Those are anomalies to me. So the 5th Raptor engine is now out. And I'm suspecting there was a 6th one. By looking at the video footage, you can kind of see it looks like there's some additional engines that have failed. You can see ice starting to come off. So for me, I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 6 Raptor engines that have failed. You saw that? See it sputtering? That is not normal for a rocket launch. So it's either like something failing or contamination in the fuel flow. I highly doubt that it's a contamination, something in the flow of the fuel. So you can see the engines here a little bit better. You can see the ones that are missing. Here, here, and then one there. So again, I count 1, 2. I count this as 2, is reporting as 1. Another 1, another 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is how I come up with at least 6 Raptor engines that are out. Again, that's just my guess and just watching the video. But that is a beautiful, oh my gosh, that's so dope. It launched and it went up. I can't tell you how amazing this is. So you got some venting going on here. So right around, you see this plume here? It's not symmetrical. It definitely looks weird. So you see all this? I have no idea what type of stream this is. I've never seen anything like that. It looks like extra gas coming out somewhere. And when I say gas, the liquid ox or the fuel is just leaking out somehow. That's what it looks like to me, uneducated guess. But that sight, to see that is impressive. They just passed the Mach 1 speed of sound at around 1,000 kilometers per hour, around 700 miles-ish per hour. So they should be, it's not on here, they don't have any data on here, but that's around max Q-ish area, the maximum dynamic pressure, where the speed of the vehicle, the speed of the booster is experiencing maximum pressure traveling through the atmosphere. That's around here. Again, I'm not doing any research. I'm not looking up any data. I'm just speaking to it off the top of my head. And the speed is continually increasing and the altitude is continually increasing. This is an amazing, successful rocket launch for a prototype with no defects. Over here, while that's going up, you can see all that. you have the status for Starship over here. So it has three engines that work in atmosphere, and then three more engines that work outside of the atmosphere. Because these rockets, oh, look at there. So you can see all of that. We know it's about to go down. So whatever it's doing it really well. But both segments of the spaceship, this rocket ship, are designed to return and land back and be reusable. The plan for this particular test was to launch it, orbit the Earth once, and have it have parts of it land in the sea. So I won't go too much further after this because this is where it starts tumbling. Around this point was supposed to be booster separation, where the Starship was supposed to separate and go into orbit, and the booster was supposed to return to Earth. It's going to start tumbling, doing all sorts of stuff. I'm suspecting that the booster is trying to return to Earth. So it starts doing all these maneuvers and flipping, but it still has Starship attached. That's my thoughts about what's going on here. This is an external view from Starship. At the top, you can see the fins here for reentry. And again, that fire it looks like a fire. It doesn't look like a proper thrust. And at this point in the atmosphere, it should be a big plume now. And it's not doing that. This is inside. Down here, this bottom component is the top of the booster. And here are the bottom of Starship engines. You can see the two different engines. Here are the Raptor engines, and here are the other engines. I can't remember the name of them again, but some of them are designed to work in space and some of them are designed to work in atmosphere. Again, both components are reusable, and they do come back to land on Earth. And here's a more clear shot of the top of the booster. You can see the engines more clearly here. So it's doing all sorts of stuff. And you can see stuff bouncing around in here as it's going through these different maneuvers. See all this stuff? I'm curious, what is all this stuff moving around inside the booster? So something definitely came apart in there. There's stuff moving around in there. You can see the exhaust plume here. This is just amazing. It made it to 30 kilometers. And it's such a beautiful, beautiful thing to see. You can see you see if it's level or not, and it is almost straight flat. Not supposed to do that. And then you can see it up here doing the same thing. And it's gonna get so bad that this thing will completely reverse itself. And those are just the sensors not being able to adjust for that. So it's just, hey, level, flat, and the sensors just freaked out. So hence, it's about to do all sorts of stuff. You see all this stuff bouncing around in there? What is that? I mean, look at, what is this thing, light moving? It's something moving in here. Maybe the light coming into it. But I can see things moving. I didn't even notice that light moving the first time. It's like a shadow, a light reflection or something going on over there. So I'll stop it here. But this was an amazing launch. And it was a successful launch. Engineering data, actual physical analysis stopped at lighting the boosters. That's as far as SpaceX and engineers have been able to test. So anything after lighting the engines on the launch pad was icing on the cake and data analysis. So being that I got this far is a lot of data that was generated that the engineers can go back and analyze and improve the next rockets. Right, they have a ton of these things already built, ready to go. Right, Booster 8, I think Booster 9 are pretty near complete, if not complete. They got Starships 25, 26. So they're pumping these things out like left and right. So this is why SpaceX engineers, folks who are following this development are aware of like, okay, hey, this is the first one, and we got plenty more to test. Right. So also another thing. We will rewind it. Is something else that is of concern is the damage to the launch pad. I did notice something there, and we're going to watch it here. Is it playing? So traditionally, they being SpaceX, recently installed protection around the orbital launch mount here. Right? They added additional steel panels around here. And it's launching. They added additional protection to the orbital launch mount because in the past, it had been destroying the launch pad. Those engines are so powerful, it's just been blowing the concrete away. So they came up with a new design for the concrete and the orbital launch mount for protection from all this thrust being generated. So what I do see in the video, I can't tell what it is. You're going to start seeing stuff come up right here. I don't know if that's damage from the launch pad. It looked like it disappears in the video, so I don't know. But this is another thing that will be under analysis, is what was the impact of this launch, this thrust, onto the launch pad and on the launch mount. That is just a beautiful sight. That's dope. See it? You see it being ejected? You see it there? You see this large thing here? I don't know what that is, but there's a lot of debris being ejected from the ground. So, and that's what we can see from this distance in this camera view. So it has to be a lot more going on that we can't see. This large plume, a smoke plume, is massive. It's probably hiding a lot of things that's going on with the launch pad. So I just wanted to point that out as well, that there's other things to look at. The engineers will be looking at with this launch, but oh my gosh, this video is 20 minutes already. I want to, so the folks that I follow on YouTube, where I'm going to go get my information, are Everyday Astronaut, Tim Dodd. Also, if you don't know about Everyday Astronaut and Tim Dodd, he has been selected for the Dear Moon project, where civilians will be sent to the moon to go orbit around the moon and come back. That is really happening. Space is becoming more attainable. It's becoming attainable by more and more people. Tim Dodd, Everyday Astronaut. I also watch What About It? It's called Way, W-A-I, on YouTube. Marcus House is another person that I follow. He has a lot of great information. And Scott Manley. They all cover space industry in slightly different ways. And for me to watch all four of them gives me a complete overview of the space industry of today. So What About It? And then Marcus House really do a deep dive when it comes to SpaceX. So start with those two channels as well. And Everyday Astronaut live stream it. So he has real-time feedback. So go check out Everyday Astronaut and Scott Manley, who was chiming in on Everyday Astronaut. So I saw them texting or chatting or sending messages to Tim Dodd and Everyday Astronaut. So I'm ending it here. This was an amazing accomplishment. An amazing accomplishment, okay? The Starship did explode. Sometimes engineers like to use the phrase rapid, unplanned disassembly, but it was always a possibility. It was always a risk. And being that it exploded at 30 kilometers is an amazing accomplishment. All right, please share this video. I'm very excited about this. I want to hear your comments, your thoughts about this. Please watch the launch on SpaceX's website. Everyone else has put their banners and stuff up, and you can't see the telemetry down here. So go to SpaceX on YouTube page, watch the video there. Oh gosh, Elon Musk. This has been awesome. Thank you, SpaceX. Thank you, Elon Musk. This is the first step to humans going to Mars. Not the first step, but this is a significant milestone for humans going to Mars. We will see humans on Mars in our lifetimes. Please share the video.